really disgusted and disappointed with the way in which Justice Roberts handled the character facts that the lawyer was giving him as it related to birth tourism that the Asians participate in. And basically, that's like about they may come in like 12 buses or so, and all of those seats will be filled, or like a Greyhound. Just picture a Greyhound, and all of those seats will be filled, and there's about 12 of them, and they have these birthing centers set up, and the Asians go in there, they have the baby, and then they leave with the baby. So that alone tells you that they are not under our jurisdiction because they came here as Chinese nationalists, and then they leave. So they have no allegiance to the country, and neither do those babies because they're being raised in China. So if they're raised in China, they're going to be taught the communist values and the values of the Chinese. They're not going to have anything American. They're going to come over here with their communist way of thinking, and they will deal with life in that manner and potentially be trying to influence these things, and again, in colleges and schools and different things like that. And that's not what we need. We've never been a communist country, and we don't want to be a communist country. We like to make and earn money, and we want to keep capitalism. And so that's what they do. And he just kind of shot it down. Like, he just said, well, that has nothing to do with the legal argument. And I'm like, what? I thought supporting facts have everything to do with the legal argument. But according to him, it has nothing to do. Here they come with I hate this music. Listen to this. Okay, they do that every day. It's like, my God, that is not no hip hop. But yeah, it's like he was so nonchalant about it. I mean, lawyers have to give tons of supporting facts when they are making arguments or whatever. So, the fact he just tried to demean it, like, that has nothing to do, like saying, like, we're not going to even consider that, right? We don't care about how many people come over here and abuse and take advantage, right? And so what they want to stay stuck on is all persons being born. And I'm going to give you a quick little example of how all can encompass 2 to 3 people, right? Let's say you have 3 kids and you bought some Chip Ahoy cookies, and one kid goes and snatched the whole pack of Chip Ahoy cookies. They say, these cookies are mine. I'm going to eat all these cookies by myself. I ain't going to get nothing. These are all my cookies. And then you bust up in the kitchen like, what? I bought those cookies for what? All of y'all. Now, when mom says all of y'all, is she talking about her 3 kids, or is she talking about her 3 kids, the kids in the house next door, the 3 kids across the street, the kids on the next block, the kids in the next state, the kids in the next town, the kids in the next county? Or is she using all to encompass her 3 children that she's talking to? Okay, so let's not play stupid here as if we can't use all to mean a specific goddamn group. And that shit really pissed me off. With the all, it says all as if you can't use all to be talking to a certain specific group or a small amount of people. And the reason why the framers used all is because I almost said the cracker. The racist people back then was not allowing our people to be free. They had fought in the war. They were promised freedom, but yet they wasn't free. They wasn't able to move about. They were, all of their rights weren't granted to them like as it was promised to them. Okay, so they had to come back and set those white people straight. So when they said, oh, they was like, look, white people, it's not just you that's a citizens here. These black people too, they are citizens. All of you are citizens. See how that works? All of you are citizens. Not just the white people are citizens, but the black people are citizens, meaning all of you. Not every goddamn body that can hop over a fence, get smuggled in, pay a coyote, tunnel under the ground. That's not what that means. And if you just show up here and pop out a kid, you're a citizen. Congratulations. Shake Uncle Sam's hand. What the hell are we really doing here? People who go through the immigration process, because I looked over it, right? They have to learn English if they don't know it. They have to study. They have to learn about our history. I believe there's some inoculation that goes along with it. And probably some more, things or whatever like that. And even still after that, do you know some of these people who go through the process legally are still waiting today? You got people who have waited. And I think the longest time I heard somebody wait was like maybe 13 to 14 years after they went through the process, did everything right, did everything that was asked of them, paid all their legal fees and whatever other fees. They waited for, it took 13 years for them to become a citizen. Okay, so that's America in one way saying, yeah, even though you went through this process, we still gonna make you wait for a little while. Let's see what kind of person you turn out to be. Like it's some type of scrutiny with that, right? But yet these little, people come over here and pop out a baby, and all of a sudden that baby pulls in 10 to 12 people, and this person is here illegally. So it doesn't compare. There's no comparison. They're getting smuggled in. They coming in on visas, tourist, student, whatever, shopping, whatever kind of visas they got. I don't know. Okay, so uh, to say that just because this person was here and here illegally and had a baby, that baby is entitled to citizenship is a complete damn lie, and it's a disgrace to our ancestors. It is a disgrace. And I'm thinking maybe there should be term limits for justices. So if they can't get it right, maybe that's something Trump needs to consider. Maybe there needs to be some term limits set for these Supreme Court justices, because they get a little funky way and they don't care about whatever if they don't like somebody. So they were just really showing their ass when it came to Trump lawyer. And I appreciated him so much because he kept it together. He kept it together. I guess he expected it. He was getting it before when they just was presenting the argument a little bit then or whatever. He was getting it then, And what I want to say is that they don't give the birthright citizenship, then Trump should make them a contagion and just say, hey, if you hire them, you're going to get a huge fine. And if you house them publicly or privately, you're going to be held liable for that. And just make them a contagion. Just make sure that they can't get any benefits. And that'll just squeeze them out, because I'm sick of them here in New York. I'm tired of their bikes. I'm tired of their nonsense. I go through stuff because I live in a predominantly tethered neighborhood. And when I call them all tethers, y'all. Yeah, I call the Africans and Caribbean, I call them all leeches and tethers. Because you see the Puerto Ricans trying to say that they were a part of hip hop. And I'm bringing that up or whatever because, it's a shame that this country feels like Black people can't create and have something to themselves. We can't even fight for the country, defend the country, and then have something presented for us to be just for us. They got to take that and break it down and give it to everybody. And that's the Democrats that do that. And so out of spite, I'm encouraging people. I got 60 people already that are pissed off because they worried about the property taxes going to go up on their ass, and they are fired up. And that was easily like, just go and when you go vote, just vote Republican. You don't have to switch your party if you don't want to. Just vote. Some people didn't even know that. They're like, oh, I thought I had to be. No, you don't have to be a Republican to vote Republican. You can be a Democrat. You can vote for whoever you want. You could be a Republican, vote for a Democrat. You could be a Democrat, vote for a Republican. It really doesn't matter. But if you continue to do that, they will kick you. They will probably kick you off the roster or whatever, because they're like, wait a minute, this person is like an imposter or whatever. So they will kind of kick you off the books for that. But yeah, you mad, get angry, stay mad and angry until November, and teach these people a lesson, because we have to end sanctuary cities. That is protecting these illegals. That is protecting them from being prosecuted by the law. They busting in all of these stores, breaking down everything. That's them. Because when you come from a third world and you live in the third world all your life, they're not used to having things. So when this is a big buffet to them. They see all these stores, all these things they could take it and go get money with, or whatever. People are educating them and prepping them on what to steal so they could bring it back to them. And these are Americans. You got some Americans working in the what they call that, the five finger hustle. They working with them. It's some Americans working here with them, or citizens. I say that they working here, but they telling them what to steal, what's more valuable, and whatever. Now I'm sure we're gonna find that out. And if they are not Americans, they should lose. I mean, even if they are Americans and they got their citizenship or whatever, they should be stripped of it. They should be denaturalized. If they are found helping these people rob these stores and telling them what to get and stuff like that, they should be denaturalized, because that's trading your country. Okay. But I know it because, like, how could you come from there? You just know what to go get, know what to go pick up or whatever. So, it's a lot going on here. And it's disgusting. I'm so tired of the tethers. It's ridiculous. Then they keep lying to us about all these highly skilled people that they got to bring here. And they're not bringing in highly skilled people. I'm going to give you two examples, right? I lacerated my Achilles tendon or whatever. So I've been getting therapy and everything for it or whatever. And of course, took legal action over it and whatnot. And I was getting the heat treatment. And so, you lay down and they use a little machine and they have to set the settings for you. So they're asking you, hey, is this okay? Does this feel all right? And you don't feel anything at first. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's all right, I guess. Because I started to feel a little something. Now, he's the therapist. So he's supposed to know that this setting is pretty damn high. Because it had to be damn high. Because after he did it, and he just turned the corner. Within a few seconds, I was screaming and hollering. It felt like my ankle was on fire. And I'm screaming, take it off. Take it. He like, no, let me get a towel. I'm like, take it off. And he like, let me get a towel. And put the towel on. When he put that towel on, I had my foot up at that time. I was about to kick him right in his mouth. Because this thing is still on me and it's still hot. And he like, no, I got to use the towel or whatever to, make it cool down. I got to use the towel. And then he took it off or whatever like that. And I'm looking at him like the Tasmanian devil. I'm like, I just wanted to, choke this man till he was no more, because I was in excruciating pain or whatever. And I'm like, man, he kept apologizing or whatever, but I really didn't care about it. I was, I already made my mind up about this asshole or whatever. Then I don't have him anymore. I got a different one now, and I don't really care for her either. I have to deal with so many foreign people, and I just noticed their attitude or whatever with us. Even when it's just like they just talking simple, it's always this kind of snobby or talking to you as if you are a child. Like if you said something to me, she said something to me once, then she said it to me again, and I was like, I didn't lose my mind or anything like that. I'm injured from my Achilles. I remember when you told me that the last two times. You don't need to keep telling me that. And then she looked like, like, like she was offended that I told her that. But damn, what the hell you keep telling me the same thing every time I come here for? About this damn insurance thing. You got this many visits and this and that, and you're going to have to get in contact with you. You said that to me. You gave me the speech. All right. Shut the hell up. You don't have to tell me that 2 or 3 times. But I feel like this is what we get as being Black Americans. They want to look down on us as not having an education and things like that. So there's that. Then, like I said, the thing with my ankle. This dude had to know, or even he was dumb as hell, and he's not deserving of the job because he should have known that this is going to be too high. This is going to burn her. This is going to be too high. So let me just put it right here or whatever. He actually left it like that, knowing that was going to be the outcome. Because he was too calm and cool when I raised that foot up to about where his mouth was at, and then he tried to pull my foot back. I guess he realized I was about to kick him in his face, But he just seemed so nonchalant about it. Not like, like somebody screaming like that. He was like, like moving around, like trying to hurry up, and he just wasn't. And then I'll give you one more incident just to tell you, like, these people are not, don't listen to them. And don't ever feel bad on yourself if you're struggling right now and you're looking for a job. Don't get on Indeed or ZipRecruiter because they're lying about those jobs. But don't ever take it out on yourself or feel no kind of way like you less than or maybe somebody smarter than you, because they're not. They're just a cheaper labor force, and that's why they're there. They're not highly skilled or better than you in any kind of way, because I deal with them all the damn time, and they never know what the hell they're doing. Here's the last example I'm gonna give you, and then I'm gonna end this. Right? I was sitting there at therapy waiting for them to call my name to go back in the back, and one receptionist, she walks over to, now I know, being a medical biller. She walked over to the medical biller and she says, you know what? You're going to have to watch yourself. They both Latinos. You got to watch yourself, okay? You got to watch what you're doing, because you got to know the difference between the primary insurance and the secondary insurance. So I've been a medical biller since 2012, okay? I added paralegal to my jacket a little later on in life or whatever. But, knowing the difference between insurances and when how you use them or whatever like that, that's very basic information. That's like basic. Other than the medical terminology, you learn that up front. Primary, secondary, and third party insurance, like if they have a third, insurance or whatever. You learn that first, the difference between them and how you should determine which one should be first, second, or third or whatever, right? That's like first, it's basic information. And she didn't even know how to do that, which means the doctors aren't gonna get paid. When you don't fill out those claims correctly, doctors don't get paid. Okay? And then you have to do an EOB to find out what happened. So you should hire people that know what the hell they're doing. She had no clue as to what the hell she was doing, or else the other receptionist wouldn't have had to come and tell her that. And I'm like, they tell you all the time about we need skilled workers. No, they don't. They pay them a lot cheaper, and they just happy to take the job because there's more money than they would be getting. She looked at Mexican, and so in Mexico they be getting they probably be getting $10 an hour to do medical office work or something, or $12 maybe they give them. I know fast food they pay them like $9 an hour in Mexico. So maybe for medical it might be like 12 or whatever. And so if you come over here, is that for you? You're gonna be happy as hell, you know. So I know she's not getting paid, but I would be getting paid, And it's ridiculous. I was laughing to myself and saying, "See, they always talking that bullshit about skill." But I tell you that to tell you that they lying about these skilled workers. I'm in New York City. There's nothing to pick here. We got an apple orchard. You pick your own shit up there, okay? You go on a little trip with your family, pick your own goddamn apples. Nobody is around here picking and stuff. You pick them. Okay, so there's nothing to pick and pack here or whatever like that. So, we don't really need them here. All the jobs in New York City, Americans can do, but they can't get none of them. Okay, because they got a cheaper labor force. So I'm telling you, I got 60 people. I don't know if I said that, but I got 60 people. They're really mad and they're voting Republican. And I suggest people do that. And I hope that Trump makes them a contagion and whatever. Like I said, make them a contagion, make it illegal to hire them, make it illegal to house them, And if you do that, it will squeeze them out along with them not getting any benefits. If you can't work, you can't eat. If you can't live nowhere where you're going to be homeless in the street, that's going to make you go home. Okay? So we don't get birthright citizenship, which would be disgusting because the only thing Trump is doing, they're trying to scare people and say, oh, Trump trying to take birthright citizenship. No, he's not. He's asking the justices to interpret it as is. And they know damn well all doesn't mean these illegal aliens, these people who come over here on buses with their birth tourism and stuff like that. We want that shit to stop. If we don't, we'll never get control of our country again. And these people will come in and they will take over and America will be, even stranger than what it is right now. Okay? So I'm Manny the 38.